Imagine sitting across from someone who swears they've told the truth, yet every answer feels like it hides another layer. Imagine watching a person who's trying so hard to stay calm, even as the weight of a national tragedy sits on their shoulders. And imagine knowing that in this final hour, the cracks in their story might finally appear. This is part 3 of Nichol Kessinger's 3-hour interview. The portion many viewers say feels different. Her voice tightens, her reactions shift. Her certainty falters in moments she probably didn't expect anyone to notice. If you've watched parts 1 and 2, you already know the pattern. But here, the rhythm changes. As you listen, pay attention to the pauses, the corrections, the tiny hesitations that investigators never let slide. Some believe this is the hour where Nichol says more than she should. Others believe this is where she reveals the emotional influence she had on Chris Watts, without ever admitting it directly. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to True Crime Log, because we're bringing you every angle of this case with clarity and depth. And if you catch something in this interview that stands out, maybe a slip, a contradiction, a change in tone, drop it in the comments. Your perspective might be the one detail someone else missed. And if you find this breakdown useful, don't forget to like and share. It really helps push the investigation deeper into the algorithm. Now settle in. Because if parts 1 and 2 open the door, this final hour is where the mask either holds or finally slips.
It's okay. I had a thought. So when he was coming back from North Carolina, that was when he officially told me we're going to get a divorce and we're going to put the house up for sale. Like, he told me they were separating and they were like going to put the house up for sale, but they hadn't done it yet. And then when he got back from North Carolina, that was when he was like, it was like a sealed deal.
Okay.
And the reason that is of significance is because at some point over the weekend, I don't remember when, he told me that they were putting the house up. I don't know if it was they were putting it up on Monday, like the day they went missing, or if it was that they were calling the realtor to verify some stuff so they could put it up that week. Like, I don't quite remember. I just remember like the house, which was supposed to be like on the market like that week.
Did he name a realtor ever?
Yeah, he did, and I don't remember her name. It was a female.
Okay. And
I don't remember her name, like,
That's
at all.
fine.
I was trying to think of that for you guys not too long
Is
ago.
that the company? You got the company name?
No, he never gave me that. He, like, gave me her name, and it was the same name twice. He gave it to me once when he was in North Carolina, and then once the other time. Because I remember asking, I was like, who's that? Because he's like, I'm going to have her call so-and-so today and make sure everything's still good to go. And I was like, who's that? He's like, the realtor. It's like, oh. Or not today, but like.
If it ever comes
Monday.
to your mind, just.
Yeah, I
Give me a
doubt
voice
it. That
when
was
you
such
call.
a.
Yeah.
I will try. I don't
Lots of
remember
names.
what it was.
It's fine. It's not that critical. That person may come forward to us anyways, perhaps. So don't worry about it. Let's go back to the phone calls on Monday afternoon.
Yeah. So he's like texting me a lot of this information, and I'm starting to kind of freak out. And it's not like I'm freaked out like, oh, she got murdered. I mean, that is not what I thought. It's like, okay, like the way I looked at this, like apparently his wife had been gone since midday, is when she got like reported missing. I didn't know that. Like the way I looked at this, it was, I got home from work just now. I mean, he didn't say that, but I interpreted, I just got home from work and my family is not here. So when we're texting for like a few hours, like the cop thing was kind of weird, but he's like, Nikki insisted they call the cops. Nikki insisted they call the cops. And I'm like, okay, and I'm just trying to figure out, well, like, what role does this woman play in this situation? Like, is she...
Did you know who she was?
No, I don't know any of his people. Like, this has been pretty, like, tight wrap for a while, which is probably a really good thing. But anyways, I didn't know, like, who she was. And so, like, I started asking him. I was like, well, where do you think your wife is at? And he's like, I think she'll be back tonight. Like, I think she's, like, out with somebody. And he was telling me that they had a disagreement. So I was like, well, I remember telling him, I was like, you should make sure that you have wait a minute. No. So all that happened, and then it starts getting kind of laid out. And I remember we talked for text for a while and part of this conversation, and then it moved to the phone. And I remember telling him, because he was like, I think she'll just be back tomorrow. I think she's just going to be gone for the night, like, with a friend, you know? And
Did he name the friend?
No, he didn't. And, like, and because I don't think, he made it sound like he didn't know, like, what friend's house she would be at. And I remember talking to him, and I was like, well, maybe it's that Nikki girl. And he's like, well, Nikki called the cops, so why would she be at Nikki's house? I'm like, I don't know, kind of throws her off the trail of where she's at, you know? And it's like, it sounds kind of weird, but it's like, he really made this sound like this woman was just, like, upset, left the house, and that was probably what he thought happened to her. And so I didn't really put too much, like...
Did he tell you the kids were missing as well?
Yes,
with her?
I knew.
Okay.
I mean, which made sense to me, because I was like, well, if you were at work all day... I mean, he didn't tell me he got home early. He didn't say that to me. So, I mean, it made sense. Like, if she's going to leave, they should probably go with her. And so, I don't know. I feel like I wish I should have, like, processed all of this earlier, but I just don't feel like... When one of my friends is gone, I'm like, oh my God, they got murdered. We should address this. Like, I haven't heard from them in 4 hours.
It's not a typical thought when somebody just checks out for a day.
No. So it got late at night, and, like, I remember telling him, I was like, he's like, I think she'll be back tomorrow. And he was going to go into work, and I told him not to. I was like, you need to stay home, and you need to help the cops. I'm like... And you need to wait for her to come back. And he's like telling me, like, well, what if, like, she comes back and she sees my truck? And I was like, you know what I would do? I was like, I would ask one of your good friends who's off of work tomorrow to come over this house and hang out with you while you're here. I was like, and go park your truck down the street. I was like, so she's upset at you and she wants to come back. I was like, but she doesn't want to be here if you're here, maybe. I was like, if she comes back, I was like, and she doesn't see your truck, maybe she'd be more willing to come in the house. I'm like, you know, I'm like, but don't be alone with her. I was like, because if she's upset enough to leave, I was like, you don't know what kind of confrontation you're going to have when you get back in the house. And I was like, so that's why you should have a friend there so that you're not alone with her. And I was like, and if for some reason you are alone with her, I told him, I was like, I really thought she just left. I did. I was like, get your phone, put it on video, and put it in your pocket. And I was like, and just zip it up. And he's like, why? And I told him, I was like, because you can voice record. I was like, so if she comes home, I was like, and you two are still, like, you know, if there's some choice words being said, because you guys obviously got into, like, something that's, you know, early
Did he
in the
ever
morning.
articulate what their argument was
He did,
about?
and I will get there. But, you know, I told him, like, just be prepared. You know, because at this point, like, it wasn't like I was, like, trying to make her to be a bad person. It was just like, I didn't know what was going on. I assumed that she had left, so I was like, well, when you get back, because I knew that they were going through a divorce, it was like, just cover your bases, you know, try not to be alone. And if you are, just record what you guys are talking about, so, like, at the end of the day, like, nothing bad happens to you, you know? And, like, that was kind of how I processed that whole situation. And so, he was like, all right. And then, she didn't come home that night. That was Monday night, right? Yes.
We're talking about Monday.
Monday night, yes. And he told me this is what he told me they talked about, and I realized that this is like total bullshit, and I think he's telling you guys a different story. And I think the reason that he's telling me what he's telling, I think the story he's telling you is probably slightly more accurate than the one he told me on this case, and the reason is because I think he was trying to save his ass with the fact that she's pregnant. So he told me that she had asked him to wake her up before he left for work on Monday morning. And so I don't know if she did that on a text or how it was supposedly communicated. But he said that he went to get her up, which I also found weird because, like, she's still sleeping when he leaves because she gets up with the kids. And they get up shortly after that, but, like, it's just him in the mornings, you know. And so he said that she woke up and those two kind of just, like, got in a disagreement. And I don't know what all was said, but he was like, she was being pretty mean. And then he said, she told me that she's pregnant. And she told me that the kid is not mine, That is what he told me.
So she's pregnant, the kid's not mine.
And that she's...
Like he's playing it, he didn't know she was pregnant
Yep.
until that morning.
Yep.
And that it's not, she had an affair with somebody else.
Yes, and this is before I knew she was 15 weeks pregnant.
Okay.
Like, all the stuff on Monday that I read from my recollection, because I didn't find out she was pregnant until Tuesday. So anything that got posted on Monday did not emphasize the fact that she, like, had a baby on board. So then...
Let me ask you something. You said that he usually gets up in the morning and just, it's him and she gets up and takes care of the kids. Is that the routine that you know for them? Or do you know him to get up and like prepare meals prior to him leaving the home?
Well, he gets up and he like goes to the gym and he works out in his basement and like makes breakfast, and I don't know.
Does he make breakfast for himself or does he make breakfast for his children?
I don't know. I don't know. They're still sleeping at that point. Like, all I know is he, at one point in sometime in this whole thing, he told me that they usually get up at like 6:30, and she gets him ready and takes him to school and like does all the morning stuff with them, as far as I know. And then in the afternoons when he gets home from work, he kind of does more of the afternoon stuff.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a tag team operation that they have going on, but I think she does more in the AM and he does more in the PM.
Right.
It's kind of how I process that, but I don't know.
Okay. So she's mean to him and then throws this out.
Yes.
That she's pregnant from another man.
And I said, do you believe her? And he was just like, he said something about like, oh yeah, like she kind of looked like she was showing when we were in North Carolina, but I wasn't sure. And I'm like, so you think she's pregnant? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, do you think she's like having an affair? And he's like, I think she said that out of spite. And he's like, and I was like, okay. And then, and again, like, I think he's just saying all this to me to try to cover his tracks with me. Like, I don't know what he told you guys, but I bet it's probably very different. And I think that what he said to me, it was like directed towards me. Like, this whole bullshit little box lie that he had right there was like the lie directed.
Did he say when the argument started?
Nope. He just said it was in the morning. He said he woke her up in the morning.
Okay. Did he say when she came home? Did he ever let you know that?
I think I want to say he said around like 2, but I don't know.
Okay. And then he woke her for what purpose?
Because she asked him to.
Okay.
So I was under the impression that he was asleep. I'm assuming this is how it like went, and what he was trying to tell me is that he was asleep by the time she got home. And she sent him a text and said, wake me up before you leave. And then he woke her up, and they got in an argument, and then he went to work.
Okay.
That's how I processed
And the
it.
context of that argument, again, was just she's pregnant. And is there anything else that he shared with you?
He did not elaborate on it, and I didn't ask.
What were you thinking at that time?
This was like on Monday. Again, at that point, I was like, I still thought she left. I mean, this was all on Monday. Like, I legitimately thought this woman left the premises with her kids and just wanted nothing to do with him for like 24 hours.
So his story was believable that she was pregnant from another man and maybe she took off for that guy, or...
He said several times, like, I think she just said that out of spite.
Okay.
Like, he thought she was with one of her friends.
So he held true to that story.
Pretty much.
She's just leaving and she's with a friend.
That was kind of what he thought. And that's kind of what he had me believing. And at the time, I wasn't really alarmed because it'd been like a half a day.
Sure.
And so then Tuesday rolled around, and...
Did you see him at all on Monday? You said you didn't,
No.
right? Earlier.
I did not see him. And I went to work Monday.
Did he ever try to convince you to come see him or say he wanted to come to your house?
No, not at all. We were supposed to go pick out apartments to go look at on Wednesday, so yesterday. But that obviously...
Right.
didn't
So
happen.
on Monday he never tried to be convincing to get you to come up to see him?
No.
Nothing?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think so, because my buddy Jim was over Monday and Tuesday, and he knew Jim was over Monday and Tuesday, and that's why we were going to hang out on Wednesday.
Okay.
So no, he didn't ask me. So Tuesday rolled around, and she still wasn't around, and this is when I started getting kind of sick. Like, my friend Jim was sick on Monday when he came up, and I don't know. I just started feeling like crap as it was, and then I was just kind of having a hard time focusing and like thinking about what was going on. And I'd asked him a few times. I'm like, "Where's your family, Chris? Like, where's your family?" you know, and he would tell me, like, oh, I don't know, or I want him home. Like, I asked, like, several times, so I think I got different responses, but each time, like, he didn't know where they were, you know, and I'm like, she's still not home, and he's like, no, and I had also asked him to, like, he said he had a friend, Dave, named, that was a cop, which I also find convenient that there's another Dave working this case who's a cop. But I was like, well, Dave's off. Why don't you just have him, like, post up outside your house, too, and see if she shows up, you know? And he told me on Tuesday morning, he was like, I called Dave and asked him to sit outside my house, and he's going to do it. And he's like, and then my friend Nick is coming over later on this afternoon. And I was like, okay.
Did you ever hear Nick's name before?
I've actually heard that name a few times, like,
Okay.
around him. Like, there's certain, I never heard Dave before. Dave was new, but I've heard the name Nick a lot, so I don't know if that's, like, real or what, but if I was to guess, like, friends that he, like, legitimately has, I would assume that he was one of them. But yeah, because I know he's told me before, like, when we first started hanging out, that Nick lived kind of in the area, and he's like, he actually goes, he's a trail runner, and he's like, he runs at East Lake number 3.
So he lives in your area?
Kind of.
Okay.
And I remember him saying that to me once. He's like, you know that park that we, like, hung out at? I was like, yeah. He's like, my buddy runs over there. We should not go to that park anymore. And I was like, okay. That's cool. And, anyways.
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning.
We're almost done.
I know. I'm trying to just keep it all together here for you guys. Tuesday morning. Oh, so he said Dave was going to stay outside of his house, and Nick was going to come over that afternoon. I was like, all right. And then, I think most of the texting throughout that day was kind of like, have you heard anything? Like, what's going on? It was kind of like me checking up on him. And I don't remember everything, but it wasn't, I didn't even make it through the entire workday. Like, I was feeling really, really sick, like, in general. And then I decided on my lunch break to get on the internet and look at what was going on with all the reports. And I saw a report that was like, this woman who's 15 weeks pregnant and her 2 daughters are missing. And I was like, whoa, what? And I was just, like, so floored, and I read a couple other articles just to make sure that, you know, all the newspapers are, and, like, just double check, like, am I really reading this right? And I'm like, okay. And he had told me previously, like, she says she's pregnant with another man's kid, but he'd said, like, he could kind of tell in North Carolina, but that girl is, like, obviously pregnant. I mean, in her photos. I mean, 15 weeks, that's like 4 months. That's pretty far along. And so it's like, how would you not know if she's showing? Like, you totally know she's showing. And so, oh my God, I got so sick. I was just like, I need to go. I just, like, packed my stuff and I left work and I went home. And I remember I told Jim that I was going to get home early, and he wanted to come over right away, and I was just like, I just needed some time to, like, process what was going on. But I did tell him, I was like, you can come over earlier than you did yesterday, because he didn't want to wait in traffic. That was the thing. He's like, save me some time. So I don't remember what time he got there. I probably still have that text, because I don't have any reason to delete those. But he came over a little early, but I did have, like, a gap of time in there. I don't know how long it was. I bet it was, like, from the time I got home to the time Jim got there, but it was probably, like, I don't know, hour and a half maybe, somewhere around there. I remember talking to Chris during this time, and it was, like, all text. I did not talk to him on the phone at all on Tuesday. And I was pretty upset, where I was just like, you know, I was going back and forth, like, where's your family, this and this and this, but I'm like, she's pregnant, you know, and this and this, and he's like, the baby's not mine, and I'm just like, you told me yesterday that you think that when she said that she cheated on you, she did it out of spite. And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, so then it's your kid. And he kept denying it. And then, like, he started, like, kind of worrying about us. He'd just be like, well, does this ruin everything with us, this and this and this? And I'm like, no. I'm like, just trying to, like, his situation is so much more important right now than like our situation.
But his main concern is you and him.
Kind of, sort of. I mean, and I keep like asking him, like, I'm like, and I told him numerous times, which is also in the text that you guys will pull, where I'm just like, you need to focus on finding your kids and your wife right now. And I was like, and you need to focus on finding all 3 of your kids. And I like kept like emphasizing to him like he had 3 kids, you know? And like I wasn't even like mad about it. I was just like, you need to find your family. You need
Did he ever go look for them that you know of?
I don't know. I don't think so. That like doesn't even like ring a bell to me, so I don't think so.
Okay.
But oh, and I forgot something else that's really important. I will add it in there too, but let me just finish this thought. So then Tuesday, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah. So I kept telling him, I was like, Chris, I know it's yours. It's okay. I was like, go find your family, you know? And it's like, was I hurt? Yes. But at the time I realized like his situation with what he had going on was like way more important than like our situation. And so that's why I was just like I confronted him about it, and then I was like, you need to go find them, and like we talked about it for a little while, and then I was just like, I don't remember exactly how it went, but something along the lines where I was like, why can't you just be honest with me? I was like, stop lying to me. Like, stop lying.
Did you have an inclination? You've talked to this man a lot, and during this Tuesday, Wednesday conversation, did you feel like he was bullshitting you?
A little bit, kind of, yeah. I mean, because he was like, not Monday. Monday I did not. But Tuesday, yeah, that's when it all started to click. I was like, oh my goodness, because he was like, well, like, he just didn't seem as like concerned as he should be, and he was like super worried about shit with us, and I'm just like,
so concerned about his family and overly concerned about your relationship.
yes.
Okay.
And I kept like trying to put it on the back burner. And shame on me for bringing it up in the first place. I was just really taken back. Like, wait a minute. She's 15 weeks. Like, how would you not notice that? Like, I was just like, I was confused. And I was also like, is he lying to me? And I kind of wanted to know because I realized that like there's a situation at hand here. And I'm just like, what is going on? You know, and for part of it, it wasn't even like me trying to find out because I'm upset. It was almost like me trying to find out because I'm like, is there something else I'm missing here? Like, I felt like there was like pieces to this puzzle that I didn't know existed that were like not in place, and it was strange. And so, anyways, I told him, I was like, be honest with me. I was like, don't lie. And I don't remember exactly how it went, but I was like trying to emphasize, like, stop bullshitting me. So he told me the truth. And he told me it was his, and then he knew about it.
Okay.
I was like, okay. And then he asked me again, like, did that ruin everything? And I was like, no, it didn't. And in the back of my head, it's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not dealing with that. Don't lie to me. But his situation is so critical right now that's like, I'm not going to like ruffle his mental feathers because they're already like really ruffled because of the situation. So like out of respect for his mental health, I just like dropped it. And I just kept telling him like, we're okay, we're okay, we're okay. But
how many times do you think he asked you during these phone calls?
Oh, it wasn't a phone call. This was text.
Pardon me.
Text Tuesday.
Text Tuesday. How many times do you think he brought up your relationship and if you guys were okay?
Probably like 2 or 3 times.
And how many times did he bring up concern for his children or his wife?
I think he brought it up a lot too. I mean, he kept telling me that he was like worried about them. Okay. I mean, it happened. It wasn't like he was just like spaced out. I mean, he was definitely showing that too. I was just surprised that he was like also showing it for me, because at that moment, if I had some crazy stuff going on with somebody in my family, I would be putting all my relationship stuff on hold. Like, look, like, baby, I got to deal with this. Someone in my family is missing. When I find them, we will talk. And that would just be it. But that's just me. I mean, that's how I would address the situation. And that's kind of how I've been like gauging how I handled Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is like, what would I have done?
Sure.
You know, and kind of like, that's why like I didn't contact you guys on Monday, because I probably wouldn't have done that for one of my friends. And not that I'm cold-hearted, it's just like, it just, that's just not how me and my friends work. So it didn't, you know. So
there's extenuating circumstances that you wouldn't have known that caused her friends to be concerned. Mm-hmm. Just so you know. There's nothing wrong with you for not going, oh, something's wrong and calling the police. the people that provided the information to the police initially had way more information about her than you do. So that's why they came forward. So I can see it, I can feel a little reservation that you're like, why didn't I do something? You didn't know enough. I think a normal person on Monday, a reasonable person is just going, shit, this woman's, whacked out relationship with her husband. She's got 2 kids. Now she's pregnant. She just takes off. So don't blame yourself for not making a phone call to law enforcement or going to the police. You didn't know anything. So I'm just trying to help you get past that. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's not, the people that came to us had way more info than you did regarding what was happening with her life.
Okay.
Okay.
So
don't beat yourself up over that. Please don't. Okay.
And then, so Tuesday, after that conversation, I told him, I told him to delete his text because I knew he was like going crazy texting me, and I didn't want any of his friends to see him texting me because I don't think they knew about me. It had nothing to do with you guys. It was just like, and you'll see him,
The secrecy of your relationship.
Pretty much. And I just feel like he was texting me so much openly, and he had friends there that I was like, I didn't want them to see that. And so I was trying to get him to slow down. And then I told him too, after he lied to me, I was just kind of I was done. And I was trying to find a way to get away from the situation without alarming him or panicking him. So I told him, everything is all good, I'm still here for you, and I feel bad because, I lied to him, but, I, just try to keep him calm, and then I told him, contact me once they find your family. And then we'll talk.
That was Tuesday?
That was Tuesday.
Okay.
And he sent me a text back saying something along the lines of, what did he say? Something please just think of and I kept telling him I was scared. I was really freaking scared. In fact, that's another thing I'm missing. I'm so tired. Monday night, I called him back in the middle of the night because I could not sleep. I could not sleep at all. And I remember when I called him, he sounded like he was sleeping. And I was like, how the hell can you sleep right now? That's exactly what I said to him. And he was just I'm just kind of dozing off and on the couch. And I just remember thinking, I haven't shut my eyes yet. And this is not even my family. And so that happened on Monday night. So then I was going somewhere with that had to do with Tuesday. I forgot what it was. I'm so sorry.
Take a breath and relax. We're almost to Wednesday, and then we're out of here.
Yeah. So then... so then once he lied to me, I just really trying to push him away, and he was just don't forget the person that you knew me to be when you were with me or something like that, and it
was that strange?
It just kind of sounded almost like a farewell, and I didn't think it was too weird because I was I think he realizes that I'm really upset that he lied to me, and I think he's aware of the fact that I'm probably about to walk away from him. So I think that was his way of saying goodbye. So it didn't really seem strange in the context of what was going on between the him and I part of stuff. And then and I kept asking him too, what did you do, Chris? What did you do? And he was I didn't do anything. And I'm where's your family? And I asked him that. I don't know if I started doing that on Tuesday or if I started doing that on Monday, but I think it was Tuesday because I don't really think I was that alarmed on Monday. And then so that was supposed to be our final sign-off text. And then Jim got there at my house, and I was hanging out with Jim. But I was still, in my head, just kind of, stressed out. And I remember I, walked out of the room, went in my bedroom, and texted Chris one more time. And I told him, I was if you did something bad, I was you're going to ruin your life. And I was and if you did something bad, I was you're going to ruin my life. And I was and I promise you that. And he responded back to me, and he's I didn't hurt my family, Nikki. And that was the last text. That was the last time we ever talked. And I never said another word to him after that.
That was Tuesday.
That was Tuesday. And then he left me alone. He gave me the space that I asked him. He respected it. And he didn't mess with me at all.
Was that a phone call where you said?
No, that's all Tuesday, text Tuesday.
Text
Just
Tuesday.
call it
All
text
text.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Everything was text. I did not talk to that man on the phone at all that day. I mean, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was all text. And then,
So at that time in your mind, if you said that, what are you thinking? What were you thinking, that he maybe did something to his family?
yeah, I started getting really scared.
What caused that
The
thought?
fact that he lied to me.
Okay.
And that she still wasn't home, and it was day 2. Like, I figure if you're upset for a day, you leave for a day, but you come back. And she wasn't back. And it was, like, midday. And not only that, but, like, she doesn't have her phone, she doesn't have her car, she doesn't have the kids' EpiPen, she doesn't have any of that. So what I'm thinking in my head is, like, for a night, if you're really upset, somebody comes one of your friends picks you up, like, okay. But I can't explain that for 2 days. Like, that just doesn't, like, logically process in my mind as something that any woman I know would do. The one-night thing, I know women that would do that. But the 2-night thing, no. And so I'm like, she's still not back. And he just lied to me. And it made me, like, I just started getting scared. And I remember, like, telling him that throughout the whole day. Like, I don't even know how many times I texted him that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's, like, 8-10 times. Where I'm just like, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. And one of the last texts that I sent to him, too, I told him, I said, I'm scared because I feel like I don't know who you are anymore. And
his response to that?
I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I think that was, like, in that, like, sign-off text that I sent to him.
Okay.
But, I mean, I was, like, kind of scared. What I was really scared for was scared for his family's well-being, because it's like, I don't know where these people are at this point, and it's scary. I mean, it's scary that she's gone, but it's even more scary to me that these little girls are gone. Like, that was the part that really freaked me out. Like, if it was just her, I'd be like, well, maybe she took off with somebody, maybe she didn't. I mean, I don't know, because she's a grown woman and she can make those choices.
Was some of the scared, was there fear in you that people were going to find out about your relationship too?
No, I didn't even care
At
about
that
that
point,
at that
there was
point.
n-
I was just,
okay.
like, scared, like, of the situation. It was, like, getting escalated, and it was freaking me out. And he was just, like, not... He was strange. So, another thing, so that was Tuesday, and that was it for Tuesday, but I forgot some stuff on Monday that I did need to bring up to you guys. So, Monday, when we were on the phone, at one point, he mentioned to me, I can't even believe I have to say this, she left her wedding ring here. And I said something along the lines of, does that mean you two are done? And he was like, he said, how much do you think it's worth? And I was like, remember hearing him say that and being like, what the fuck? And I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't even know how to respond to this. And so I was like, I don't know, pawn it, man. And I was just like, I pawn jewelry all the time. I was like, I pawn jewelry a few times. I was like, it's not worth shit, though. And I was like, so I don't know if you really want to do that. And he's like, no. I think I'm going to get it appraised. It's a nice rock. And I was just like, okay. And it was, like, really awkward.
And that was on Monday?
That was on Monday night. And that, to me, was like, it was kind of strange. And then the Tuesday lying thing, like, I'm telling you, it started, like, Monday night, him saying that was why I couldn't sleep, because he made the comment about the wedding ring.
Okay.
And then Tuesday, her still not coming home, and then him lying to me. And I was just like, oh my God, like, what if something happened? And it was, like, really hard for me to
When you say,
put,
what if something happened, what were you thinking?
like, what if somebody took her? Like, could he possibly hurt her? And that was, like, the first time that I really, I think, genuinely considered, did this man hurt his wife? And it was, like, hard for me to grasp. And I thought about it a lot, and I waited for the night because I wanted to see if she would come home. And it was already pretty late, and I had company, and I was just like, let me just see how this plays out. And my buddy Jim left. I don't know, probably like 9 or 10. Probably it's like the same time he always leaves. And then I couldn't sleep again. It was really bad. And I woke up in the morning and I saw the interview that he had with the newspapers. And he just looked really different to me.
How so?
the light in his eyes is gone. They're like a different color now. It's like he has no soul. I swear to God. I saw it and I was just like, look at his eyes. I saw his mugshot. They're not even the same color. Like when you guys retrieve the pictures that are on my phone, look at his eyes then compared to now. Like it's the scariest shit I think I've ever seen in my life. It freaked me out. I was like, that's not even the same man that I know. And it was really uncomfortable. But anyways, I saw that report in the morning and I was just to the point where I was just like, all right, like something happened. This woman is missing. Whether it was him or someone else. I know like a woman went missing not too long ago in Longmont. Like I think it was like 2 months ago or something like that. And you guys, not you guys, but somebody up there called off the search on her. I don't think they ever found her. So I was like, I don't know, maybe that's connected, maybe somebody came and got her, maybe he did something. I don't know, but I knew like it was a problem. And at this point, I was like, I'm in a very messy situation with this man. And I don't know what to do. And so I called my dad, because he's like the only person that I trust with everything in the whole world. And I was just like, I have a problem. And I told him everything. And then I was like, we just discussed it. And it was like, we need to go to cops. Definitely. Because I figured you guys would find me eventually. But I was like, I feel like they need to speak to me. I feel like I'm a very important person for you guys to communicate
You are.
with. And so, you know, and again, I wish I'd have done it sooner, but it just kind of took the sequence of events of his lies and all of his bullshit falling apart for me to process that I needed to address the situation. And so, you know, and the time. And so that to me, and another thing he lied to me on, I caught him on Monday night, he was like, oh, it was right after the wedding ring thing. He was talking about, it might have been before, one of the two, but he was like talking about how he like reflected on North Carolina, and he was talking about how he wanted the separation and all this stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought you were the one trying to make peace with her and she's the one who didn't want it. He's like, no, I wanted it. And I was just like, okay. And another thing on Monday night, his breathing was like, oh, it was like his voice would crack sometimes. But I didn't like condemn him for anything like that, because I was like, well, yeah, he's probably stressed the hell out. His family's gone. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I don't know. So that happened, and then
he never made any admissions to you about anything that he had done.
no.
He never said anything about doing, or at any time, not just in these days, but during your relationship, did he ever say anything about hurting his wife, his children?
Never.
And then on these conversations from Monday to Tuesday, did he ever say that somebody did something to them, or did he ever give an excuse to you how this could have happened?
No, I mean
other than they just were going to a friend's house.
Yeah, or he was like, yeah, I think she's like with one of her friends, she doesn't want to talk to me kind of thing. But other than that, no. I mean, like, he told me, like, yeah, she said she was with another man, but I think it was out of spite. Like, he never really, like, held that she was with another dude. Like, he never was like, yeah, she's with some guy. Like, she said it, but I don't think she meant it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what he was, like, directing towards me. But no, I think that's why I gave him the benefit of the doubt so long. Like, he has always been such a civil, gentle man to me. And he's always been pretty calm and, like, level-headed when he talks about the differences between him and his wife. And, I mean, that's a sensitive subject. And he never, ever seemed like he was, like, aggressive about it. I mean, he was always just, like, chill. And he never talked ill of his children. He was always so bubbly about them. Like, those were his babies. So when all of this happened, I was just like, what the fuck? And
so that brings me to a question real quick. I mean, I don't think anybody over the last 6 or 8 weeks knows this dude better than you. I really don't. You guys probably spent more time together than anybody.
mm-hmm.
Conversation, whatever, relationship. What do you think? What's the catalyst for this event? Do you have any? Have you had? And I know it's a hard question, but I want to get it out now. We're here. If there's a thought that you have, that might lead us to understand a little bit why he might have done something like this. Like I said, I met Chris on Wednesday, so I don't know Chris, not like you do.
I've thought about this, and sometimes I think to myself, if I wasn't in that man's life, would his family still be alive? And I've thought about this a lot, and I think I could give myself different responses. But in all honesty, I think they might be alive, but not permanently. I do not think that this man just snapped. I don't think that he just met some fucking amazing woman and he was just gonna try to fucking murder his family and then think that I was okay with, like, building a relationship with somebody who did something like that. Like, at what fucking point, And not only that, like, I always try to say, like, when we get to a point where we've been together long enough, I would love to meet your children. Like, I never discluded them from anything. I remember coming back from Colorado Springs, and I was like, oh my God, they got the Cheyenne Zoo down here. You got to take your kids, and like you can feed the giraffes, and they would love it. And like, I always try to like show him cool things. Like, hey man, would your kids like this? Because my nephew would like this. Like, check this out. Like I sent him a screenshot of some rainbow unicorn Lucky Charms the other day. I was like, do your daughters know about these? Because I bet these are epic. Like little things like that, where it's like genuinely, like, I care. I do, like, despite how messy this is and how I'm sure I'm going to be portrayed in the media and everything, like, I care about, like, his well-being with his children and all of that. And so, for me, like, when I think of what was he going through his head, I find it really hard to believe that I am the catalyst for all of this. I will be willing to say that I think me being in his life accelerated what was inevitably about to happen. But I don't think people just snap. Love does not murder. Hate and resentment murder. That's the way I look at that. I do not know what is the truth anymore and what's not, and I don't have all of the details. But this is just my opinion, but I'm pretty convinced that woman and him did not get along very well. And the reason they stuck together was, hey, we're going to do kids. And I think they also stuck together because they were in a very bad financial bind. And I think that she continuously disregarded it. And I think he messed up because he was too passive to say anything to her about it and really address it. And it just got to the point where it's just like, you file bankruptcy and then what do? Just wait till you file the next one? I don't know. I don't know what their finances look like now, but from the way it made it sound, it's probably a pretty stark situation. And I don't know if hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt over and over and over again are enough to lead a man to want to take somebody out, but I don't know. I've heard of people committing suicide over that shit before, and I would never justify what he did. I think it's fucking disgusting. He's such a fucking pig. But I try to be like, why? I try to come up with a why, and I really think that he was struggling with her really bad, and not only that, he's got a third child on the way, and I know he was probably just like, I can't fucking afford a third kid. Wants it, but can't afford it, And he always told me he wanted a little boy. He wanted a third child.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that it was just something I think they were in a financial situation, and I think she was very non-responsive to him trying to solve problems and get out of the situations that they were in. And I think people just get complacent is what it is. And then, I think he met me, and I think I was a breath of fresh air for him, where it was he could get away and just be you know what, I can be myself. I don't have to worry about money right now. And this girl, I have my shit together. My life is so, very in order.
You seem very organized and independent and dialed
always.
in
I do
for
really
30.
good. I do really good at work. I have, almost a perfect credit score. I've been saving money for a house. I don't mess around. I mean, I screwed up. This is, my one screw-up ever, and it's about to be on, national news. But, just very dialed in, and I think it was, a breath of fresh air for him to, be around something like that, because I don't think that he knew that was, a real thing. And he had told me that, numerous times. He's I didn't know, women like you, existed. It's just all right, I don't, and when he meant it, it was just like, just, like, the way you run your life. And so, because you got married really young, you know? And so, to answer your question, I think inevitably it was going to happen. I think it just got propelled faster. I mean, I don't understand what he would have achieved with, if he wanted to be with me that bad, what he would have achieved with me by doing what he did. I think his situation at home was way, way deeper than anything him and I ever had, and it led to that. And I don't know what happened in that conversation that they had, but I kind of have a feeling that it wasn't even about her pregnancy or another man or me. I have a feeling it was about money.
So drilling down, you think money
I
for
think
him is the biggest downfall. You guys, I mean, beyond their relationship, really, I don't know that you know too much about the relationship or the particular issues other than monetary issues, financial issues. That sounds like what you guys talked about when you talked about their relationship.
I mean, like, he told me other things, like they really didn't, like, sleep together too much, stuff like that, but I feel like a lot of husbands and wives don't do that. But it was like, oh, of course you don't. That's why you're coming to me, you know? No, I think I just, like, me being in his life just pushed that forward. I honestly think that there's probably a good possibility that this would have just happened. Like, further down the road. Where
So
it would've
did you
just
see that before yesterday or Tuesday, or was that just kind of something that you have reflected on and you've thought about this now going, man, now that I see that in this guy, or just because of the lifestyle he was living, and if he didn't get removed from it, this was going to happen sooner rather than later, like you said?
You know, if I was to reflect on anything over, like, the past few weeks, besides, like, the stuff in the last few days where you're like, hey, is there, like, any red flags? I would say, like, no. But one thing I did notice one time is we were sitting on my couch and I was telling him, like, my house, I have a really beautiful house. Like, it's set up, like, really nice. But everything I have is, like, from Craigslist or Goodwill. Like, I have pieced it together, and it's all, or, like, marked down stuff. And I have pieced it together in a way, like, it's pretty, huh? It's a pretty house, but you would never guess that, like, everything I got is, like, super discount. And one day we were sitting on my couch, and we were just, like, bullshitting about some stuff, and I was telling him, like, oh, yeah, you know, like, I got this marked down in American Furniture because, like, the corner was dented, and, like, I got this one off a guy on Craigslist, and I put it all, and I was, like, telling him, I was, like, I put it all together, and I was, like, to me, it was, like, material things don't make a home. I was, like, it's the energy and the love that you bring to the home. I was, like, it's not about what it looks like. I was, like, it's about what you, like, bring to it, like, mentally. And he, like, collapsed in my lap and gave me, like, the biggest, most genuine hug I think that man has ever given me. And he just laid there, and he was just like, you are so different. And I didn't even say anything. I just, like, put my fingers in his hair and just let him chill there. And I assumed that it had to do with the finances. But it didn't, like, stress me out. It was just, like, this relief sigh where he just, like, dropped into my arms. And I didn't, like, really think too much of that event, except for that I was like, this was like, it was like a really genuine hug, like, collapsed into my lap, like, just so relieved. And I didn't really think much of it until, like, I started reading about, like, their bankruptcy and all this other shit, and I was like, oh. So I think it might have been bigger than he let on, because he never told me about his bankruptcy.
Sure.
You know, he just told me about his current financials, and he didn't even get that in depth, but I'm assuming they're trashed. And so, yeah, I think her spending all that money and not listening to him, and him not standing up for himself in a calm and, you know,
Just to elevate.
yeah.
Last hard question regarding this. And,
go ahead.
And then I have just two cursory questions regarding something else, and then I think maybe Tim has a few questions for you. But I think what you say about the finances directs directly at his wife. Do you think that goes to the children as well? Because she took, did she treat them like that, like they were gold and they got everything as well that you know of? Or do you think there's a separate issue for why he may have done what he did to his children other than financial?
That part I don't have an answer for. I can't fucking explain that. I don't even think there is an answer. I don't even think there's any sort of, like, computing up here that could possibly give a rational explanation for why that would have happened. I mean, the only thing that I've honestly thought of when I play the scenario over in my head is that maybe they woke up and saw him doing in their mom, and he was like, fuck. Now I gotta do this too. I don't know. I'm like, why? Because they were like his like little lifeline, you know, he that was everything to him, you know, and I get like those two have problems.
But he had a great relationship, but from what you're accounting is
With his kids.
He loved his children.
Yeah, like that part, it's, oh my God, that's the worst part of this whole mess. The worst part of this whole mess.
We won't dwell. We don't have to dwell on it. Let me ask you.
But, so no, I don't have an explanation. That's the only thing I can possibly plausibly think of is maybe they saw it, but other than that, I don't know what the fuck.
Okay. Who's Charlotte?
Are you asking me who's Charlotte?
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my friends?
Mm-hmm.
She's like a really good friend of mine. Why?
Did you have some conversations with her regarding another boyfriend
No.
that you might have met on eHarmony? Or did she meet somebody on eHarmony?
No, she's engaged.
Okay.
She's engaged.
So there's some text messages that we got off your phone, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I'm asking this is because if he found out maybe you had another boyfriend, you understand my line of questioning, that looked like maybe you had another boyfriend. And I don't know if that's this Jim guy, that maybe you guys were, no, I'm not saying that he's your boyfriend, that when we were interpreting the text messages, that it seemed like he might, you know, this man came to my house, he has a key to my house, that you're saying right now.
Oh.
When I look at that from my perspective, Jim may be another boyfriend for you.
Oh, no. Charlotte is like my oldest friend.
So did you have a conversation with Charlotte about Jim?
I mean, sometimes we talk about him. We're all friends.
Did you guys ever have a conversation about eHarmony? That's the
I mean,
kind of
possibly. I
online-
was on there for a while.
Okay.
But I didn't actually ever go out on any dates with guys from eHarmony. Not
Okay.
one. Like, I talked to a couple guys on there, but I was like, no, I didn't go on any dates.
So the only reason would be another potential reason for him to be upset.
No, he knew about Jim. He's always known that Jim is one of my good friends,
Okay.
and I lay it out for people at the beginning. Like, I have friends that are male, I have friends that are female. These are my friends. That's what it is. Like,
Okay.
he never to me seemed like jealous of Jim by like any means. So no, I'm curious what text you're talking about with Charlotte.
I have like
I talked to that girl so
I have
much.
153 pages of text messages, so I can't. If I could pull it up, I would, but I don't know where it is.
I thought you guys just got my text.
We got when we ask for everything. For 7 days they give us everything.
Oh, so why did you need to just do that if you just had them?
Because I don't know that they're completely accurate. Again, what they send me is I don't have any way to verify that they're accurate.
Gotcha.
And if you delete a text message, sometimes those are not retained by carriers. They're still on your handset. There's a way to recover them from your phone. But they may not be held. There are certain carriers that don't even keep text messages. And I won't tell you who those people are, but they don't keep them. We can't even get our hands on them because they don't have a database. They don't pay the money. They're stored on your stuff and your stuff only. So that's why we ask for it. And some of those things disappear in 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, unless we ask them to keep them. And sometimes we don't know in time. So that's why we do it too. Okay? So just, it was a question because it also would provide potentially a motive for what Chris did if he found out that you had another boyfriend.
Why would he kill his family?
Well, he
if I
wigs
have a
out that he finds
boyfriend?
out that you have a boyfriend and just loses it altogether. Do you understand? Because he's already losing his wife, and now his new girlfriend has another boyfriend, and he can't. There's multiple reasons why. It was a concern. That
His cheese slid off his cracker. So sad. I don't know. He's like not even the same. I look at those like mug shots and they're scary. They scare me.
Yeah, that's what you said about that video too. It didn't. I had noticed it was. I would have been a wreck. Oof.
I don't know. I mean, I volunteered with some guys for when I did the armed military stuff that had PTSD, and they were telling me when they went through trauma that they like kind of locked up. So like, I didn't even think it was the fact that he was calm that freaked me out.
Oh,
it
when
was
you were
like
helping
his
those guys
eyes.
out from the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was his, like, that part didn't, because I was like, I've seen, there's these guys that have been in battle that I've worked with that are like, yeah, I've experienced this is how I handle my trauma, and they're, like, very, like, just kind of like zombies. But, so I didn't hold that against him, it was just his eyes, and just the light is gone from his eyes.
So let me just finish just with a couple quick questions here, but besides the obvious, and what he's done, what's the worst thing about this guy? Did you ever have just some sense? You seem to be pretty together with who you date, the people you hang around with. You seem to know a lot about people. Was there some impression he gave you that was negative?
The whole time we were together?
Yeah. Anything negative that sticks out?
I didn't think anything negative. I mean, like, I have preferences. Like, I thought he was, like, I don't want to use the word clingy because it's fucked up. He was, like, really, he was a lot more into me than I was into him. And it didn't make...
Time?
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed his company, though. I mean, enough so that I kept everything going despite the situation. And, I mean... Like, it didn't scare me or anything. It's just like, I don't move that fast.
Okay.
So I think things were moving.
What were his long-term plans with you? What did he discuss with you?
Like, I mean, we'd, like, bullshit about it every once in a while and be like, oh, yeah, like, I asked him, I was like, if you didn't have that big house, because he didn't want to live in it, and he had made it very clear he didn't pick that out, he didn't, none of that. I was like, well, if you could have a house that you wanted, what would your house look like? And he would tell me, he's like, I want a little ranch home. Like, it doesn't need all these floors, just a few bedrooms, enough space for my kids, maybe some property so they can, like, run around. 2-car garage, maybe 3. Put the old sports car in there because he liked cars. Stuff like that. You know what I tell him? I'm like, I'm simple too, so if you end up doing that and we end up staying together, let's do it. But it was never like, sell your house, let's go buy a house. Like, it was very...
You ever say anything about getting married?
To me?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a thing where it was like offhandedly, like, one day maybe this will happen. But again, it was like these were... I did not take these as very, like, deep conversations. It wasn't like, this is when we're going to get married, this is what's going to go on.
Okay.
And
you knew him for how long?
Brief.
Total. Just not dating him, but I mean, when were you first aware of him? How long?
I don't know. Probably the beginning of June or maybe May. So, like... 2.5, 3 months, tops. I mean, this is all, like, really fresh. Like, all of this is compounded into, like, a very small time frame.
Very quick.
Yes.
Has he worked for the company for a while?
Yeah. I don't know how long. I want to say, like, 5 or 6 years off the top of my head, but I don't know. But
Did he supervise people? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, kind of. So he was an operator, and the way the operators are set up at Anadarko is they have operator 1, operator 2, operator 3. But then each operator is, like, broke down into, like, the basic guy, the medium guy, and, like, the foreman. And then it starts all over again. So he is still on level 1 of the operators, but he's, like, the top dog on the level 1 of the operators.
Okay. The whole time you've known him, this 2 or 3 months, did he ever complain of anything, any medical issues whatsoever? And did you ever pick up on anything? Is he allergic to anything? Does he have any, a special diet, anything that's messing with him physically?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, how about psychologically? Do you ever think there's something wrong with this guy?
No, I wouldn't have dated him if I did. He, honestly, I mean, maybe because I thought he was, like, one of the, like, most laid back and, like, decent men I'd ever met, and I just haven't met a lot of people like that. But, I mean, no. Not up until all this stuff started happening, then I was like, whoa, you are not the person that I thought you were. But prior to that, no, not at all. I really didn't. I enjoyed his company.
Do you think he was dating anyone else?
No.
No way?
No.
Okay.
He was way too invested in that.
Was the relationship was it sexual right off the bat?
Pretty close. I mean, like, once we got it to be, like, where we're hanging out outside of work, yeah. I mean, it wasn't, like, immediate, but shortly following that, yes. And then it just continued.
Okay. Pretty consistently throughout the relationship? So kind of hot and heavy. You mentioned that maybe you guys were sending some photos back and forth. What kind of photos is he sending you?
Well, see, he would, like, send me, like, workout photos, stuff like that. He sent me a couple of inappropriate pics. I did not request those. I didn't even want them. I was just like, why did I do this?
What were they?
Oh, it was of his package. And I'm just like, okay, cool.
Like his face and everything? Or just...
No.
Okay.
No. That's it. But I think he only did that like one time. It's just like, I don't even really want this. But usually he would just send me pictures, like workout pics, like progress pics stuff, and I would just kind of keep him updated, like, because he had some like fitness goals in mind, so it's kind of like trying to help him out with that.
Okay. When was the last time you guys were intimate?
Saturday.
Was that at the Broncos game?
Uh-huh.
Where would that have taken place?
At my house.
When he went to go pick you up before heading up to...
He didn't pick me up. We drive my vehicle. But, yeah, prior to and immediately following afterwards. So it was like,
So when he dropped you back
he
off,
came to my house,
you
it
did.
happened, and then we went out to dinner, and he came back to my house, happened again, and then he left.
Okay. Any other stressors in his life besides finances and that he mentioned?
I
And
mean,
his wife?
just the fact that that she doesn't like let him openly communicate. I mean, but other than that, no. I mean, nothing that I really know of. We didn't like dive super deep into that stuff. It was just like occasionally there'd be a conversation where it would come up, and I mean, it wasn't even really information that he wanted to provide. It was just like me being curious, like, why are you separating from her? This is good to know. Or like, what are your finances like in case I end up building a life with you? But it was usually me like doing the inquiries, but I used to try not to be like super invasive about that stuff.
Mhm. What are the, in your mind, again, just real quick, what are the things that really pop out to you that he would complain about his wife?
Just that she didn't listen to him. She like never listened to him. She always just like shut him off. Oh, and he told me once that she used to like kind of like talk shit to him in front of his kids, and his kids were starting to repeat it.
To give you an example?
Yeah, she said, what did she say? He said he tried to ask her for something and ask her a question. I don't know, something. He didn't like dive super into this. This was like pretty early on, and she said she told him to shut up and that he didn't know anything. And his kids started like repeating it. And he said that it made him really sad, and he realized that that was when he needed to separate from her.
So, and he never, though, he said she was a good mom?
Yeah, I mean, he never complained about her being like a bad mom or neglectful or anything like that.
Abusive, anything like that?
Nothing. When it comes to like violence or anger or any of that, nothing. I mean, and he even said like, yeah, like so she kind of like gets bossy with me sometimes, but as far as like arguing back and forth, he's like, that never happens. He's like, we don't fight like that. So I don't know. He seemed pretty like even keeled with stuff. So
Did they talk about how they discipline their kids at all?
I never asked. I felt like that was not my place.
And he never mentioned it?
Nope.
That's all I was going to ask.
Just making sure nobody else.
What time is it? I've been so.
It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
It's time to go. You have my card. Things will probably come to your mind in the next day, week, month, year, especially as you get some sleep and recover here. Please don't hesitate to call me. My email's on there. You can email me. The business phone number on there is not accurate. I used to work in our Pueblo office until
So what is it?
July. Just call my cell phone. I'm never in my office anyways.
Okay.
Okay? My cell phone will always be the same, so just call my cell phone. And I will respond to you as soon as I can. If you need to send an email, again, you can send an email to me. Okay? If I can help you in any way with some services to deal with the obvious trauma that you face, let me know, and I'll get you in touch with the people that can help you. Also, if you have issues with anybody intimidating you in any fashion, I will tell you right now, I have zero tolerance for that. Zero. I will charge anybody if I can prove it, and I will take them straight to jail. Period. You're not a suspect in anything. You're merely a witness. Unfortunately for you, you met a man who did some terrible things, and I won't stand for it. Through my career, period, zero tolerance. You will go straight to jail. You call me immediately, and I will handle it.
I appreciate
Okay?
that.
And finally, you probably eventually are going to get media inquiries.
When are you thinking this is going to happen?
I don't think it's going to happen soon. I really don't. I will tell you today that there was an inquiry from a media member requesting to know if there was any other people involved in Chris's life. I think the story is they're searching, but there's only a multiple couple of time reasons that somebody could think what would cause this.
Well, they're seeing the financial stuff. They're posting it.
Right.
I'm seeing it.
So I think there's a buffer for you for a couple of reasons. I told you today, I did not see the affidavit. I don't think your name was mentioned in it. There's no reason for it, I don't think, at this time for his arrest. When the affidavit becomes public, which I think they mentioned maybe early next week, that'll keep them media busy for a while.
Oh, so her name wasn't in it, that you think?
I don't think your name
Mark
was
said
in
he
it.
didn't publish that thing
Right.
yet, so if he has...
So I talked to Mark this morning, and I know he has not written a report. Now, I do know that he did talk to the people yesterday just regarding her, because it was important for some of the things we were doing yesterday. Again, I don't think your name appears in that report. But don't hold me to that. I didn't write the affidavit, but from what I know, it doesn't. So at some point, your name is going to come out. I mean, there's just no way it's not. And like I told you, I won't.
So when do you think that is? Like when we take this to trial?
I don't
Like
know.
at what point? Because nobody knows about this.
Right, but Chris does.
Yeah, I don't think he's in any rush to tell the media anything. I mean, maybe.
Is there mitigators that he, in his mind, or again, you got a phone call from the public defender's office, whether you talked to them or not,
I
that's
did
your business.
not.
You didn't?
I did not.
Oh, I thought you did.
I did not.
Hmm.
I didn't know what to do. Mark said to ask you what to do.
Okay, so did they reach out to you?
Yep.
Okay, you can, your decision. You don't have to talk to them, or you can. I won't say either way. You have to make that decision for yourself.
I don't really know what to do. I feel like if I talk to them, they're either going to try to like find some holes in my story or try to get me to like be Chris's only ally, and I don't really feel like dealing with either one of those.
Then I think you've made up your mind.
Yeah,
So,
I don't
and
want
maybe
to.
confide in your father.
No, that's what we were
Should
talking
we
about.
Yeah.
already talked?
I can't really give you legal advice. They have every reason to want to talk to you. Just like if they got to you before I did, I would want to talk to you too. You understand what I mean? And I won't hamper what their investigation is or anything. They want information too, certainly. They have a client that they're trying to protect and make sure that everything that we're looking at is the same thing that they would want to
But
look
they
at.
can get it from you.
They will get it from us.
So-
It'll be in discovery. They'll get everything that we've talked about here, and that's so when that happens, which is pretty short order. The reports that we will generate, everybody involved in this case, will be sent to the public defender's office. I think at that time you might find that there could be some exposure for you. So I am not going to tell anybody who you are. If somebody called me today, I don't talk to the media. I don't have any business talking to the media. Mark has no business talking to the media. They don't need to know who you are. Your part in this is not relative to anything to the story. For me, it's nothing that they need to know, and I don't ever give information to anybody.
They're
Okay.
going to dwell on it, though. They're going to try to use that as his why. I don't think it's his why. I really don't.
That's why I asked you that question.
No.
You think his why is financial. And whether or not we ever know what his why is, I don't know.
Did he tell you guys what his why was?
I can't discuss it with you.
So, just a quick open question. The way the legal system runs, is it, if he totally confesses and pleads guilty, is there a reason for a trial, or do they just pack enough discoveries together that this proves what he said, and
So the
he
purpose
goes
of
to a kind of court and it's done, or?
the purpose for discovery is we have to. We're obligated by law to share everything that we know with the public defender or a
Absolutely.
private attorney.
Right, okay.
It doesn't go the other way. They don't have to share anything with us. So we are obligated to give them everything we have, no matter what happens. I can tell you right now, probably sometime early this week will be his. He's going to enter a plea. Either I'm guilty or not guilty. That will probably be sometime Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. of this coming week, I would imagine, from what I heard today. Now, it might be a little more delayed, and then that starts the legal process. So,
But if he pleads
if
guilty,
he pleads
though-
guilty, could that happen today? Sure, certainly. I mean, he could go to his attorneys. You've seen it happen before. If he pleads guilty, is that information still available? Absolutely, because there's still got to be legal process regarding is he competent to stand for? Can he make that plea? Are the attorneys going to allow him to do
all
so?
the stuff.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
So
okay.
all that information still goes to them, and then that would play into potentially what is the sentence, what could be the penalty. All those things have to be looked at by attorneys. So there is not them ever getting her name. It is going to be there at some point. And I don't know. I understand your fear, and that's why I told you that if anybody, I don't care if somebody calls you and says, anything minor, you call me and let me know, please. I will not stand for that.
Well,
Okay.
I haven't
So
been
it's
answering.
it would be the news people would only be the ones that, and of course they already know what to.
God, work is going to be such a mess too. That's going to be like a whole nother level. Like everybody at my work I heard was so like just damaged and broken today, and then it's like, let's just add Nikki into this whole mix. It's not going to be good for all of them, like mentally either. It's just going to be a mess.
Maybe your employer could transfer you to another business.
I think that's a fair statement. I will tell you right now that Anadarko has been very, very helpful with us and is very concerned about their employees in this event. And I'm tired too, but your employer definitely has an indication of your relationship with Chris, I would think.
They're not my employer.
Oh, that's right. You work for a different company.
Yeah, but you're saying
I think-
Anadarko has a knowledge of that.
Well,
Who are we talking about, Tasman or Anadarko?
I don't even know what Tasman is.
Tasman is the people that cut my check, and I'm contracted out to APC.
So I think people have suspicion that there was a relationship with Chris. Not saying you, but they may know that. I think there was some suspicion that he was having a relationship with somebody else. Not your name specifically. But if you went to your bosses and said, I have an issue that I don't, like your dad's saying, I think that you might find that they'll just get you out of there.
See, that's what, and that's what we were talking about today, because they probably have a policy for psychological help. They probably have a policy for inquisitive, people bugging other employees. That's a big company with a lot of HR, and there's.
Do you have an employee assistance program?
I
EAP.
don't. Oh yeah, that they were there all day today. But it's like I got so many calls today from
Those are
people I work
questions
with.
that you can ask them anonymous,ly and that information is
See,
retained.
that's what I was saying, because if,
So what am I supposed to do?
Well-
Tell my boss?
well, but your boss isn't going to want rumor mongers. They're not going to want people stressing you out. They're not going to wait. They don't want erratic workflow. They don't want any of that. So they'll probably do a broadcast letter of anybody that was friends,
They already
acquaintances
did. They
of
already
it,
dealt with all the shit
or
that's
anything
done
else.
today.
Please respect that employee's feelings. And right there, and by the way, if any of you have problems, blah, 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 you can call Mickey Mouse at, and that's probably,
See,
they
but
probably have a policy with that.
here's the
and I'm
problem,
hoping that
though.
they do.
I don't work for them.
But they can still,
But if I'm like
Protect you under
transfer
that.
me, like they're gonna be like, you're not even our employee. Like I'm pretty sure I'm about to lose my job over this.
no,
No, you're not. Why would you lose your job?
I don't know, because I feel like people are gonna just complain about being uncomfortable with working with me. Like I am not gonna have any respect from anybody there. I think I will have like 2 people that still.
You really didn't do anything wrong.
I had an affair with a married man who lied to me and made me believe that he really wasn't like as married as I think he was. But the media is not going to be so kind to let everybody know that. I think people are going to think I'm like the reason that he went off the deep end.
That's
Well,
probably a fair statement. I would probably agree with you to some effect, but if these people you know them at work, then
And the
you know,
company will
protect
company
you at
will-
some point.
buffer that as much as they can, because if not, it'd be chaos amongst employees, and they can't have that.
I'm just so
It's
sad.
just
Like,
not
this
good
is
in
like
their best
the
interest.
job of all jobs I've ever had in my life, and I
Really?
fucked it up.
Well, so you've been out in the field, you've been home 3 months of the year on an average,
Not even-
in staggered amount, out in the middle of nowhere on oil rigs. This little thing was out hanging on oil rigs, and now they got her an environmental where she's able to clean up stuff.
Right.
And it's a hot job, man. It's just a hot job, and
I
I mean, would you
I
advise
wouldn't
me
start.
talking to
I
like
can't
my
give you
head
legal
higher up?
advice. Maybe the best thing to do on that is talk to your EAP, whoever the employees assistance people are. They're anonymous. They know all your HR rules. They know all your policy and procedure stuff. And how can I mitigate this?
Fair
And also,
question.
your problem too is not just is this going to become an environment where you can't work? So you have to call those people and say, I don't want this to happen, so how do we take care of it? I want to continue to work for you guys. I love my job, whatever. Just be proactive. I don't know, your boss is on site.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I don't know. She's
I think that's a personal decision you have to make.
yeah.
But
I mean,
don't
I didn't
think-
even think about talking to them at all. But I keep thinking about. I'm like, man, when my name gets out in the news, this is about to be crazy.
No,
like
I
I had
do it.
people calling me all day. Like my office mate would not shut up. She just called me today, and she was just like, "Oh my god, did you read this article and this article? And what did you think? And oh my god, and this and this." And I'm just like, I don't want to talk about this. Please leave me alone. And like it was really overwhelming. And my project manager called me, and he's really chill, so we made it a very quick conversation. But some people just like didn't get it, and it's so hard to me
I
because
would
I
get
feel
in
like
front of
I'm lying to them.
I'd get in front of it. No, don't.
Yeah, because
Make
the
a
company,
decision.
I don't think it would be in their best interest legally, morally, or profit-wise to have a bunch of junk going on. They would suppress it to keep it at least where everybody's treated with respect throughout the company. This is a tough situation. They'll put the
I
presidential
could
speech
do that
in it.
job like 75% of that at home.
Yeah, I
I've
would-
already been thinking about that. I was thinking about just asking Lena, like, hey man, just let me come in at like 5 in the morning and deal with the gas monitors like 2 days a week. No one will even know I'm
And I
there.
believe that
And let me just work at home.
they probably made a statement on that, what'd you call it, OHP or
EAP.
EAP.
EEP?
They put out a notice today.
If they put that out and it says your confidentiality will be respected,
It has to be.
if that got leaked through an HR department and that got out after you told them something, that would not be good for...
Employment law is very strict on that
Yeah,
kind of
so
stuff.
I think you should just not attack it, but be proactive in it and snuff it, because
And what? Just go tell my boss, like, not what I told you guys, but like a summed up version of it. Like, hey, my name is about to get released in the media, and there's a lot of stuff.
I don't know if I'd
need
do
to-
that in that fashion. I might you just need to figure out a tactful way to do that. And perhaps in employment, there is attorneys that deal with employment law, and maybe you want to reach out to one of them. That might help you. I don't know. It's a decision that you might need to make, or you might want to talk. I think I would talk to EAP first because it's not going to cost you any money.
See if they'll do something. I hope so, because they're not actually my employer. So
Well, they're an outside agency that just knows what's going on.
but
See, I don't know,
both
so
companies, it would be in their best interest to protect everybody, including all the foremen he worked with, apprentices he worked with. I mean, all of those people have a lot of information too.
Not like me.
But again, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to have, they don't want to talk about it. They have the same rights. So it would be a company-wide thing. So I would just,
On the media
we'll
stuff,
work on that.
Yeah, I think you've got a grip on that. On the media stuff, for you, I wouldn't talk to the media. Just tell them you don't have any comment, and for you, probably the same. And if they just persist, maybe put somebody. It seems like your dad is your biggest confidant here, and maybe make a brief statement. If my daughter doesn't want to say anything, have a nice day, whatever. Because if you appease them a little bit, sometimes they'll go away. That would just be my suggestion. Don't talk to them. You don't need to.
I'm not going to. I guess they're going to make their own assumptions.
Let
You,
them-
So does your neighbor, so does the
Right.
guy
They'll be talking, as soon as they
stopped at the
figure
red
out
light.
who you are, they're going to talk to your neighbor, and they're going to say, oh, yeah, I saw Chris, and her together, whatever. You know what's going to happen. Just prepare yourself, and then it won't be.
Are they going to
there's
swarm my house?
No, I don't think so.
No, they were like swarming his. He told me that he's like, there's media everywhere. And it's just like, I hope that does not happen
Well,
to me.
yeah.
I mean, I have a safe house in Denver that I can go to, that I
There
have the
you go.
keys to, that has
That's what
nobody
we're-
there
that's what we're
ever.
thinking for the next
And it's
couple
all I have to
weeks.
do is check the mail, and there's no questions asked, and nobody knows where it is, and I'm not telling anybody, but it's like a really nice spot for me to like hide
there.
out, and I don't have any friends in that building. I mean, it's an apartment, but it's
And we
like
will
safe.
answer your phone calls, but the safe house is from
The safe house
Go there.
is the safe
people
house.
banging on her apartment
Well,
door.
when should I go there? When do you think all this is going to start happening? I mean, it's kind of.
I mean, it might be just good for you to go there anyways for your sanity and stay away from this place that you had a connection to this man with and get your thoughts in order.
It's
and
so sad. That was my nest. It was like such a warm little place.
That was
and
your-
now it's like I haven't even slept in my bed. I've just been sleeping on the couch with the dog. I don't even want to do it.
What other questions can we answer before we go? I don't foresee talking to you again regarding this now. An attorney might review something and go, hey, can you ask her another question? And that would be a long ways down the line. I don't think there's anything else. I let you talk for a long time today to get it all out. So we don't have to do this again because I don't want to traumatize you again. But if there is important things that come up, please know that I do want to talk to you about those. Other things that we haven't talked about today, or if something just, I got to tell them, just call me.
I mean, like some things I thought were really important. Like the other day, like I didn't mention the wedding ring thing, and then I was like, that was really creepy. I should probably tell them about that.
And yeah,
And you got those cards. I gave you those cards.
So you gave me cards and there was clothing in there.
Yeah, I don't care what you do with it all. I just don't
The
want
clothing, was any of the clothing anything he wore this weekend, or is it stuff that was from...
No. It was like stuff that he brought over like prior to that.
Okay.
None of that. Like some of it's been washed and folded since then. Yeah, I just wanted it out of my house and didn't want to throw it away.
We'll
So
take
you
care of
guys
it.
can
We
deal
have
with
it. We'll take care of that. If I have questions on the context of a text message, I might just call you and say, "How does this mean?" Because I might not
Okay.
understand what you were talking about. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
If it's, I'm not going to bother you unless it's really important, because I think I have everything I need from you today.
okay, yeah, we just wanted to make sure you guys had it so that
Well, and we don't. I
you
don't
can find the right person or
Yeah,
something
we don't
and
want to
get
do
it
it
done.
again. Yeah, and we know we have the right person, and I am sorry that you're involved. I am. It's never a good time to say anything like that, but it's a bad deal. This whole thing is, and this is one of the tougher cases that I think I've been doing this a long time. It's it's tough. So for you, it's even tougher. And don't forget to reach out to somebody for your sanity. Like I asked you downstairs a question, and you said no. You remember what question I asked you, right?
No. You know how many questions you've asked me
Did you want a
tonight?
pizza?
Well, hell,
Pizza.
I want
I
food
love
too.
pizza.
No, I asked you if you had any concern. I asked if I should be concerned at all about you hurting yourself.
Oh, no, I don't feel the need to do that. I
Right.
just want people to leave me alone. I
And
just
if
feel like
you-
I want to like hide for a little while all
Just
of this
please
is happening.
reach out to your family or even me, and if you have any things that's struggling, like I told you, there's people I can put you in touch that will talk to you. I'm not a psychologist. That's not what I am. But people sometimes that get caught in these situations, they end up having lots of emotional issues, and you need to address them. Don't just hide that stuff. Okay.
All right. Are you guys
You
going to
seem
help
pretty
me if
super
we go?
super intelligent. So
I appreciate that. That's a nice compliment. When we go to like trial for this, if that's what he so feels the need to take this to, are you guys going to help like coach me through these questions?
So we would be there to rediscuss our conversation today, to conversation you had with Mark, and then an attorney would talk to you prior to any questioning on the stand regarding what kind of questions they're going to ask you. And really the only thing you have to remember, I mean, if you're worried about your recollection or your recall or, you know, how you might remember this, everybody worries about that. Even we do. We spend hours on the stand, and it's very difficult. But the only thing you have to remember is tell the truth. And the truth will never change in your mind. You know what happened during these 6 weeks. You know what happened on Monday and Tuesday. And as long as you tell the truth, then there's nothing to be worried about. If you don't remember something, you don't remember it. Might they pick on you a little bit about that? Absolutely. They usually pick on us a lot more than they do you guys. So, but that's so far down the road.
I mean, how long are we talking? Like, how long
that
is this
could
whole
be,
process gonna
well,
take?
so he has the right to a speedy trial once he makes a plea, which is 45 days. Do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. I can tell you that the majority of the homicides that I work on average somewhere between 1 and 3 years.
Yeah, look at the clown,
So
man.
I gotta just deal
With
with
the
the
theater.
media, like knocking on my door
You're-
like that for like 3 years. 'Cause that's
This
what you're gonna have to
case
go
will
through.
be hot until the next, unfortunately, crazy case comes up. And you know it's true. I don't know if you watch the news. There's a reason I really don't.
Every week.
I don't.
But
watch
you
the
know
news.
there's something new every week that's the hot topic. This one might be hot for a week, 2, 3, whatever, and then something else is going to happen, and they're going to forget all about this one until it comes back to court, and then it's going to be revived if it ever does. I don't know what that, you know. He
So-
has all sorts of. He could plead. He could say I want to go to trial. I didn't do this. Whatever. He could say whatever. So it could be tomorrow. It could be 5 years. It just depends. I mean, there's a lot of things that can slow cases down.
Yeah, look at that theater thing. I mean, that was a whirlwind for, what, a month or so?
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, as soon as people started figuring out what that guy was all about, all of a sudden they started just like, man, he's weird. He was psycho. Look at him. And they just kind of just...
And then it
But it
petered
also
off.
shows
and
up like every...
then, huge. That's a huge event.
Yeah.
You know,
But
certainly
it shows up every 6
unprecedented.
months or a year.
Sure. You know, I mean, you look at. I just. There's no way to know that. But if,
Okay.
like your dad's saying, you know, like on that guy was sent to the state hospital for evaluation. And that takes a long, long time, and that can draw out cases if there's evaluations. There's all sorts of things that come into play that really don't worry about. Is put this thing out of your mind as much as you can, and when the time comes, if it ever does, that you had to testify, you will be in good hands. We'll take care of you. The attorneys handling this case are going to, you know, take care of whatever needs to happen. Okay? And if you have questions that you can't think of now, just call me.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to talk to the other side. From what we were discussing, they can get the discoveries from you
I
guys.
don't
and
want
it's-
to deal with him
it's-
anymore.
it's
Mark
less
already
than-
said he's like he might try to call you. I think I'm gonna just ignore that.
Who?
Chris. I don't know if he will try to call me. I heard. Did they find those little girls yet? I was looking for them, and they
No.
thought where they
Don't
knew where they
know.
were at. You don't know yet because
I
you've been
don't.
in here with me.
Right.
Oh my god.
I find the whole thing very weird if the close, as much as you told me that he was as normal as he was, but yet some very close friend would call within a couple of hours of her not answering the door, or what was it?
Well, I think she was like on meds or something. Like, so I think she wasn't concerned
But to
about
call
Chris.
but to call the police within just like the same day, and yet he acted normal on this end, that is weird.
Yeah.
Somebody, there's 2 different lives there or something.
Oh, there's definitely 2 different lies there. That's why sometimes I have to like. I feel like when he's like, "Well, what did she?" If people are like, "What did he say about her?" And it's just like, I don't even know if I want to say it because who knows if that's what's really happening. I mean, maybe, maybe not.
Molly called me back, so we'll call her tomorrow.
Okay, I think I might need to approach Anadarko. I really don't want to go to work tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to just just take the week off and then we can sort things out on the weekend, and then I can like reach out to my supervisor and EAP or whatever.
Yeah, you need a little sleep and some time.
Yeah, you definitely need some sleep. Don't drive tonight.
2 p.m.
She's, I'm gonna drive her home and then all the way back.
I'll walk you guys down. You gonna get?
Yeah, I'll
You
get
need to
tape.
use the restroom first, Pumpkin?
No, which is crazy because I've drank so much water today.
I really, really do appreciate